Hi, Cules. Hold on tight, because what's happening in the Barça locker room is the kind of drama even the best Netflix screenwriter couldn't have imagined. It's a sunny day in Barcelona. The Camp Nou isn't shining under the midday sun, and the team is in the middle of a training session. The birds are singing, the clouds are parting, and LAMINE YAMAL, our young prodigy, is sprinting down the wing like the pitch is his playground. But not everything is as idyllic as it seems. A whisper hangs in the air. An invisible but palpable tension. Something's not right. And LAMINE, with his mix of teenage innocence and detective's instinct, is about to find out. Training is going normally, or at least, that's how it seems. Confronting Flick, the mister, is shouting instructions from the sidelines with that German intensity that makes the players run a little faster. High press, boys, like a Pamplona bull is chasing you. The starters are sweating blood, the substitutes are busting their guts to get noticed, and even the kitman seems more focused than usual. But LAMINE, with his hawk eyes that see beyond appearances, notices something strange. There's a player who isn't at 100%. It's not an injury, it's not fatigue, it's something else. His passes are sloppy, his movements seem forced. And every time Flick gives an order, this guy looks down, like he's hiding something. LAMINE, who isn't the type to stay quiet, starts putting the pieces together. That guy isn't with us, thinks the kid as he dribbles past two cones before sending a pinpoint pass to LEWANDOWSKI, who slots it into the top corner like he's got a magnet on his feet. While Lewa celebrates, LAMINE keeps watching. The suspect, let's call him the Enigma to avoid spoilers, is on the other side of the pitch, faking a sprint that looks more like a retiree's trot in the park. LAMINE, with that mix of boldness and curiosity that makes him special, decides he can't just stand by. This is Barça, gentlemen. No room for half measures. So, between one rondo and another, he starts investigating. The first clue comes at halftime. The players are in the locker room. Some are drinking isotonic drinks, others are checking their phones like their lives depend on it. LAMINE, sitting in front of his locker, pretends to tie his boots, but really, he's listening. The Enigma is talking quietly with one of the physios. LAMINE doesn't catch everything, but he picks up a few words. Meeting, secret, they mustn't know. What the hell is going on? LAMINE, who's watched too many detective shows on Netflix, decides a deep investigation is needed. And if you're already freaking out, cool, subscribe to the channel, because what comes next is even crazier. Training ends, and while the others shower and joke around, LAMINE lingers. He's got a plan. He knows the Enigma is always one of the last to leave. So he hides behind a pile of cones like he's James Bond on a high-stakes mission. From his hiding spot, he sees the Enigma pull out his phone and start typing a message. LAMINE, as agile as a cat, sneaks closer and manages to glance at the screen. Bingo! The message is to a contact saved as Chef. And no, it's not Flick. The text says, "Everything's ready, I've got them under control. Give me instructions." LAMINE feels a chill. A spy at Barça. A traitor. This isn't a match against Madrid, it's way worse. Determined not to let it slide, LAMINE starts tailing the Enigma. It's not easy, because the guy is slippery as an eel. Over the next few days, LAMINE turns into a kind of Sherlock Holmes in cleats. He watches every move, every conversation, every suspicious glance. He discovers that the Enigma has secret meetings in a bar near the Sagrada Familia, always with the same mysterious guy who wears sunglasses, even in the rain. LAMINE, who's no fool, starts filming these meetings with his phone, hidden behind a tapas menu. The recordings aren't Oscar-worthy, but they capture enough detail. The Enigma is passing on information about the team, tactics, lineups, even the weaknesses of his teammates. All of it is going straight to someone who clearly isn't a cool. Things get serious when LAMINE finds out that the chef is none other than an agent from a rival club. We won't name names, but imagine a team that always has us in their sights. LAMINE, his heart racing at 1,000 miles an hour, knows he can't act alone. This is too big for a 17-year-old, even a prodigy. So, evidence in hand, or rather on his phone, he decides to go straight to the man who can restore order, Confronting Flick. It's a tense afternoon in the Camp Nou offices. Flick is reviewing tactics on his computer, with that concentrated look that makes it seem like he's solving an expert-level Sudoku. LAMINE walks in without knocking, which would normally earn him a telling-off, but the kid goes all in. "Mister, we've got a big problem." He doesn't beat around the bush. Flick looks up, raises an eyebrow, and gestures for him to sit. LAMINE, with the same energy he uses to take on defenders, tells him everything. The messages, the meetings, the recordings. Flick listens in silence, but his face goes from curiosity to surprise, then to a cold anger that's scarier than a penalty in the 93rd minute. "Are you sure about this, LAMINE?" Flick asks, his tone a mix of disbelief and rage. LAMINE nods and hands him his phone. Flick watches the recordings, reads the messages, and his face hardens like he's about to declare war. This isn't going to stay like this. And at that moment, LAMINE knows he's done the right thing. Flick isn't the type to hesitate. He's German, direct, and if there's a traitor in his team, he won't last as long as it takes to drink a coffee. That evening, Flick calls an emergency meeting with the coaching staff and the captains. LAMINE is invited, because at this point, the kid has earned his place at the table. The tension in the room is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Flick, with the calm of a general before battle, lays out the evidence. The captains, led by a Ter Stegen who looks ready to kick the ball to the moon, are in shock. "How could this happen?" one asks. "Who can we trust now?" another wonders. But Flick doesn't let the drama take over. There's no room for traitors here. This is Barça. It's over. And then comes the moment of truth. Flick brings the enigma into the room. The guy walks in confident, like he doesn't know he's about to walk into a trap. Flick doesn't waste time. He shoves the recordings in his face, reads out the messages, and asks with a voice that freezes the blood, "Anything to say?" The enigma tries to stammer out an excuse, but it's like trying to stop a Messi goal in his prime. Impossible. The evidence is damning. The captains stare at the enigma with a mix of disappointment and rage, as if each glance is an invisible blade piercing through his armor of lies. Ter Stegen, fists clenched, seems ready to explode, his icy blue eyes betraying a rare anger, the kind reserved for the worst betrayals. Araujo, on the other hand, shakes his head with silent contempt, as if he can't even believe that a man wearing the same jersey could sink so low. GAVI, despite his young age, wears a hard, almost adult expression, as if this betrayal has aged him 10 years in a second. De Jong, always calm, crosses his arms, but his fingers dig into his forearms, betraying contained tension. LAMINE stays back, leaning against the far wall, hands buried in the pockets of his tracksuit. He feels his heart pounding, not out of fear, but from the adrenaline of the moment. He exposed the scandal, yes. He saved the locker room, maybe even the club. But he also knows nothing will ever be the same again. The air in the room is heavy, almost unbreathable. You could hear a pin drop. Flick, standing in front of the enigma, doesn't tremble. He doesn't even raise his voice. When he speaks, it's in a dry, cutting tone, like a sentence already written. "You're fired." Those 3 words resonate like a sledgehammer. No shouting, no anger, just an implacable certainty. There's no place in this club for someone who betrays his teammates. His voice is low, but every syllable carries the weight of an irreversible decision. "Not here. Not at Barça." The enigma takes a step back, as if struck. "Wait, mister, you can't." His voice is trembling, almost pleading. "It's a misunderstanding. I can explain everything." He reaches his hands toward Flick, as if he could still pick up the pieces of his shattered credibility. "I had debts, pressure, they threatened me." But Flick doesn't flinch. He doesn't even blink. Too late. A simple shrug, and it's over. Already, the club's security agents, 2 men in dark suits, enter the room. They don't say anything. They don't need to. Their presence alone is a condemnation. "Sir, please come with us." One of them places a hand on the enigma's shoulder, who jerks away, as if still refusing to accept reality. "You're making a mistake. I'm innocent." But no one reacts. No one defends him. No one even looks at him anymore, except LAMINE, who sees in his eyes the animal panic of a cornered man. The scene is surreal, like something out of a movie. The enigma, head down, moves toward the exit, flanked by the 2 agents. His steps drag, as if he's still hoping for a reprieve, one last chance. But there won't be one. The players, lined up on either side like a silent corridor, let him pass without a word. Some look away, unable to meet his gaze. Others, like PEDRI, stare at him with a mix of pity and disgust. Mesque un club, the motto that echoes like a call to order. Here, we don't betray. Here we fight. Together. When the door closes behind him, a heavy silence settles in. Then, slowly, murmurs begin. Damn, I can't believe it. Who would have thought it was him? What if there are others? Flick raises a hand, and the voices fall silent instantly. Enough. He scans the room, his authority crushing any urge to discuss. What just happened stays within these walls. No one talks to the press, no one talks about it outside this locker room. Understood. The players nod in unison. Good. Flick turns to LAMINE, who straightens up instinctively. You. One word, but it weighs a ton. You did the right thing. No loud praise, no pat on the back. Just that sentence, spoken with a respect that's worth more than any reward. Then, in a voice that carries to the back of the room, Flick adds, like an oath, Barça is more than a club. And no one, absolutely no one, can mess with that. The words cling to the walls, to the minds, to the hearts. No one. A period. A promise. A threat. Outside, the Camp Nou stretches under the setting sun, indifferent to the dramas unfolding within its walls. But in this locker room, something has changed. A wound has opened, but a new strength has been born. LAMINE feels it. Flick knows it. And the players, one by one, lift their heads.